Hello retro gaming and home arcade enthusiasts, it's me, it's Michael B. Thank you so very much for watching. In today's video, we're going to talk about Arcade1Up's newest releases, and it actually is a new release, meaning new game. Time Crisis, the long-rumored cabinet, has finally been announced. So that's right guys, in today's video we're talking about Arcade1Up's newest release, Time Crisis, that was announced yesterday in an official video from Arcade1Up featuring some familiar and, might I say, pretty handsome faces. So let's talk about the cab. Let's talk about that price point that was a little, and let's talk about some of the features, how it looks. But before we get into that, I want to say thank you so much, everybody, for checking out the video. Guys, I always appreciate the support. If this is your first time to the channel, you like what you see, go ahead, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, all that YouTube stuff. After a long rumor period, several leaks, several different iterations shown on pictures, Arcade1Up yesterday officially announced their Time Crisis cab, coming in 2 years later after we got the original Gamefly leaks. So yesterday, I had the distinct pleasure of sitting down with Time Cyrus, the team from Arcade1Up, and my buddy B Kong, and we participated in the official announcement for Arcade1Up's Time Crisis cab. So this is a cab I've known about for the last month or so. B actually got a review copy, told us all about it. So it was kind of weird not saying anything, but you know, we respected B. We respected that B had an embargo, so we kept it quiet. We knew it was coming out. We just didn't know when. We knew that there would be an announcement and B had an embargo, but we didn't know when it would become available. In fact, we still don't even after doing the show yesterday, because if you check the link on the website, it still says notify me. So we still have no date or timeline, but we got a lot of official confirmation on the cabinet yesterday. And we actually got to test out some gameplay from the cab. Luckily, where B had it, he could actually show off how the guns work, how the cab works. So if you want to see that video and you haven't checked it out yet, I'll leave a link down in the description below. So guys, like I mentioned, it's currently up on the Arcade1Up website, listed as Notify Me. Hopefully some confirmation on who it will be available through will come up relatively soon, as well as a release date. I can tell you, I do know that this is an international release, so I don't have to play the video. This will be available in Canada, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But let's go over some of the fine details of the cabinet that were displayed yesterday in the video. So we get 4 included games: Time Crisis, Point Blank, Steel Gunner 1 and 2. Time Crisis, which you guys know is a Namco System 22 game. We talked about it a little bit on stream yesterday. So the emulation is actually the same emulator they use for Ridge Racer. So if you played that cabinet, you know how good the emulation is on that. You should know how Time Crisis will perform as well. We also know that Namco was actually involved and took part in developing the emulator. They took part in the whole process. So personally, I held a lot of faith in the emulation, but I would have to play it to confirm. But from all the things that, you know, I've been told and we're hearing, it sounds like it should be pretty good, and B says it's pretty good as well. Point Blank, which is a big fan game of B, he has his own built cabinet for Point Blank. Steel Gunner 1 and 2. Where Steel Gunner 1 and 2 are interesting is they are in fact not traditional light gun games. They work more like T2 did in the arcade, where it had, I don't know what it's called, like the potentiometer, so it works more like a mouse drag. Anyways, Steel Gunner 1 and 2, they are going to be light gun games on the cabinet. And as B mentioned yesterday, you know, you will notice a slight difference in the way they perform because of that fact. So let's talk about the cabinet design itself. It says flush cabinet design, standing 70 inches. So this is, I think, the tallest Arcade1Up cabinet to date, coming in a little bit bigger than Big Blue and Terminator 2. I think both those cabinets were 68 inches, so tallest cabinet yet. A lot of the reason for that is the astronomical size of this built-in marquee. And the funny thing about the marquee is this is all one piece. So on the unboxing they were showing yesterday, they showed that this front panel is one piece with a molded bent plastic that fits in the marquee, and the light actually comes out from the bottom as well. I know one complaint was people were saying it should have said Namco on the bottom of the control panel like the real arcade. I don't know why they didn't do that. That was a licensing decision, I guess. But if you guys are disappointed, I will be selling custom stencils. That's just a joke, but it might not be. If you want them, let me know. Anyways, the cabinet, it does look pretty good. Let's bring up the pictures here. So, some changes from the original cabinet, of course. This right here, the gun holsters on the original cabinet were all plastic and had like a divot in the middle that kind of came down. So for this, they went for the extended front panel, all one color. They decided to not put graphics on it. The side art is super accurate, saying everything the original did. And this is an interesting deluxe cab because as you can see, the seam's a lot down lower. The seam with these deluxe cabs is usually halfway, at least with the XL cabs. We still haven't got a deluxe cab here in Canada, so I can't confirm. So the seam actually works more like a riser, which is super interesting. So guys, yesterday we talked about the foot pedal and how it had like a metallic top to it. Definitely a big upgrade from the pedals Arcade1Up have put out before for racing games. But keep in mind, this foot pedal is for use with only one game, and that is in fact Time Crisis. I saw a lot of people ask this question, and B explained it on the video yesterday. The pedal works just like the pedal on the racing game cabinets. It does have that stereo speaker connection. So people were concerned that you'd have to stand right next to the cabinet to play it. You can in fact pull out the pedal in order to make the gameplay work. So you can see the pedal there. This does retract to wherever you're comfortable, shooting at the cabinet. So that shouldn't be too big a deal. Here's a picture of people standing in front of the cabinet. So you can see my mouse. So that will come out. The other thing is as well, I don't have a picture of it here. I don't know if they included one. But the gun itself actually has a button on it, so if you don't like the pedal, you can actually use the backup of like the bomb button on the gun, and that will perform the same function. Alright, moving on, we've got a light-up marquee, which we talked about a little bit. 17-inch LCD screen. This is a BOE monitor, but I know a lot of people are out there saying, oh man, I really wish this was a larger monitor. You're going to get that comment whenever there's a gun game. Of course, there's a benefit that it's not like Big Buck. You don't have to stand so far back. You can get closer to the screen, which may help a little bit. But it would be great if the shooting games, maybe from now on, they release those in XL cabinets, just so we can get that bigger monitor. A little bit of extra real estate will certainly help. And as you can see in the renders that they put together, this isn't a final product cab. It looks like the bezel is very short, and there's no white bars on the screen to enhance the Sinden technology. Keep in mind, the actual product is going to look a lot smaller than this, which we saw in B's video, and there will be a white line around the screen. So just for a reference point, B did a live unboxing and gameplay last night. Well, it wasn't live. He unboxed it a couple weeks ago and had a couple friends from the community there with him. We joined live to help with the stream last night. Here's an actual pic of how the bezel looks, how the game looks with the white Sinden line around it. So, that's a more accurate picture, and hopefully going forward, Arcade1Up can do more of that and add the more accurate picture to the website and the description pictures to give you a better look at what you're going to be working with. With all that out of the way, let's come to the real point of contention that came up with this cabinet yesterday, and that is the price. So when we were getting ready to do this stream, we didn't have a price right up pretty much until the point we were going to go live. And then what happened was we got the price point about 5 minutes before the show. Of course, if you're watching the show, it was brought up right towards the very end. It came out very quickly. $749 US is the announced price at this point. So at that price point, this makes this cabinet one of, if not the most expensive Arcade1Up cabinets to date. I go back and I look at other really pricey Arcade1Up cabinets like Terminator 2, which was another gun game. Came with 2 Sinden guns, a lot of changed features and things to make the cabinet special, more like the original arcade. And that was only $699. So we are getting a $50 price increase above and beyond Terminator 2. And you know, I don't know where I stand on that. I was of the impression that I thought this cab was going to be somewhere between $5.99 and $6.99. Obviously, seeing the last big shooting cab was in fact $6.99, Terminator 2, you would assume the next one would be as well, but there is a $50 price increase. What I can tell you is that Arcade1Up sets a manufacturer's suggested retail price, MSRP, and then it goes out to the retailer. They have final say on what the price point will be. I don't know what happened in the conversion or if it was their final say, but $749 is the price point right now going forward for this cab. I can't tell you about whether or not that good value for the price. That's entirely up to you. Your familiarity with the cabinet, your familiarity with the arcade game, and how much you're willing to spend. But it is really expensive in terms of an Arcade1Up cabinet. Like I said, in the 3/4 scale, this is the most expensive cabinet to date. I think maybe X-Men was $749 as well. I'm not 100% sure. I know it was $849 here in Canada. I know Time Crisis will surpass that here in Canada. It is going to be $899 from what the retailers are saying right now. So from a 3/4 scale perspective, it is the most expensive cab ever. The other thing about that $899 price point, why I thought this cab was going to be $699, is the Arcade1Up XL cabinets, like you can see here in the background. When they came out in Canada, they were in fact $899. While in the US they were $699, so $699 seemed like the price it was going to be, but in fact the final number is going to be $749. I know it says $1,034 here on the screen. That's with the conversion because I'm obviously in Canada getting the US price. Looks like we're actually going to do a little bit better than the conversion here. Well, you know, I guess that's a good thing for Canadians, but I know a lot of fans were disappointed by the price point, and you know, it is what it is. So anyways, guys, that's everything from the Arcade1Up Time Crisis announcement from yesterday. This is a cab that has been long rumored, going back, man, almost 2 years. This was one of the cabs that were listed in the Gamefly leaks. We've waited, and we've waited. It's finally officially announced after so many leaks. You remember we saw that first version with the Coleman cooler in the background. I did try to bring that up on the stream yesterday as a joke. I don't know if Cyrus caught it. But, you know, we've seen other leaks. This is the final version. So what I want to hear from you guys right now is, what do you think of the cabinet? Do you think it looks good? A lot of people are saying they think this might be one of the best looking Arcade1Up cabinets to date. It better be for the price point, right? Anyways, what do you think of the fact that they've included a 17-inch screen instead of jumping up, making maybe this an XL cab at the 19 inches? What do you think Arcade1Up should do with their shooting cabs going forward? Should they stay in the Deluxe line, or should they move to an XL cabinet? And what did you think of B's gameplay yesterday? Looking at the emulation, how do you think it plays? Do you think it plays arcade accurate? Will the game play very well? And are you excited about the included games list? Last but not least, I know you're going to talk about it, so throw it up in the comments. What do you think of the price point? Is this cab you're interested in getting? Or is it a cab you're interested in getting at maybe a different price? Something along those lines. Are you fine with the price point? Let me know in the comments down below. Before I go, I do have to say, usually I would do some kind of reaction video to their stream or something like that, but of course it's kind of awkward when I was actually on it, and I am very excited that Arcade1Up reached out to me. They want to involve me in their community initiative, at least for this video. We'll see how the future goes. To me, that was a cool thing, and hopefully it works out for everybody. Hopefully it works out for Arcade1Up. Hopefully it works out for the community. We'll see how it goes. Anyways, guys, thank you so very much for watching. This is MichaelBtheGameGenie. I'll talk to you guys next time.